the place where we began, where the power and the glory of our race was to be won. Through the centuries of grandeur, there we saw our heroes shine. Through the changing of the seasons, it has stood the test of time. Come home to Intramuros, it's a place where we began. Come home to Intramuros, viva Intramuros. Come home to Intramuros, viva Intramuros. Have you ever been there, to the place where we began, where the power and the glory of a people has been won? Come home to Intramuros, it's a place where we began. Come home to Intramuros, viva Intramuros, the city lives on. The place where we began, where the power and the glory of our race was to be won. Through the centuries of grandeur, there we saw our heroes shine. Through the changing of the seasons, it has stood the test of time. Come home to Intramuros, it's a place where we began. Come home to Intramuros, viva Intramuros. Come home to Intramuros, viva Intramuros. the place where we began, where the power and the glory of a people has been won. Come home to Intramuros, it's a place where we began. Come home to Intramuros, viva Intramuros, the city lives on. The place where we began, where the power and the glory of our race was to be won. Through the centuries of grandeur, there we saw our heroes shine. Through the changing of the seasons, it has stood the test of time. Come home to Intramuros, it's a place where we began. Come home to Intramuros, viva Intramuros. Come home to Intramuros, viva Intramuros, the city lives Have you ever been there, to the place where we began, where the power and the glory
Intramuros remained hidden in rubble, a ravaged victim of a brutal world war. But slowly, the city that was once the jewel of an empire emerged from the rubble. Built in the 16th century by labor conscripted from the Filipino and the Chinese communities, the edifices were elegant adaptations of European structures to the tropical materials and environment. For over 3.5 centuries, Intramuros was the center of a new nation, cobbled by the Spanish colonizers from the diverse islands and cultures of the Philippine archipelago. The walls are what characterize this historic heritage. These encompassed the original city of Manila and gave her the distinctive feature as well as the name Intramuros, within the walls. The 4.5-kilometer wall completely enclosed the city. Averaging almost 6 meters high and 4.5 meters thick, it presented a redoubtable barrier against foreign invasions and local uprisings. Built from volcanic stone quarried locally, the walls have endured to this day. And today, through the efforts of the Intramuros administration, almost all of the damaged parts of the walls have been repaired or restored. Secure gates allowed entry into the walled city. Puerta Real, or the Royal Gate, was the main portal and led to the Governor-General's residence and to the cathedral. The landscaped garden at Puerta Real has become an alfresco venue for concerts and other events that showcase Philippine culture. Postigo del Palacio was the small gate for the exclusive use of the Governor-General and the Archbishop. Puerta del Parian was the principal gate leading to the Chinese district, where trade and commerce flourished. Puerta Santa Lucia was built in the 17th century. To allow access to the Malecon, the promenade by the shore of the Manila Bay. Puerta Isabel II was opened in 1861 to ease the increasing traffic between Intramuros and the rising commercial district of Binondo. Puerta Almacenes, beside Aduana, the customs house, was for access to the wharf, which in turn was the gateway for the opulent galleon trade. Laid out according to the best battle plans of the time, the walls of Intramuros are fortified by layers of defenses. Bulwarks, or baluartes, are wide platforms along the walls. Batteries of cannon were positioned on top and powder magazines below. San Andres, San Francisco de Dilao, San Gabriel, and San Diego, which was breached when the British invaders captured Intramuros in 1762. Ravelins, or revelines, provided cover for the gates. The redoubts, or reductos, are smaller but well-armed independent structures outside the walls that could fire on the advancing enemy or those that have reached the walls. The main garrison was Fort Santiago, strategically located at the mouth of the Pasig River. Built on the remains of the palisade of Soliman, the Raja of Manila, who defied the Spanish when they landed in 1570. Fort Santiago is a citadel protected by its own bulwarks and moat. When the Philippines was sold to the United States in 1898, the Americans made it their military headquarters. Fort Santiago now houses the Intramuros Visitor Center, the Audiovisual Theater, Museum Shop, the Almacenes Reales as a venue for functions, and the museum that showcases memorabilia of the Philippine national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. In the works, the reconstruction of the American barracks as a restaurant. As the capital of Spanish colonial Philippines, Intramuros was the hub of government, religion, and culture. The Palacio del Gobernador was the residence of the Governors General. The Ayuntamiento housed the colonial administrative offices. During the American occupation at the turn of the 20th century, it became the legislative building of the Philippine Commonwealth. Aduana, the customs house at the docks. Intendencia, the public treasury. These historic buildings, scheduled for restoration, will significantly add to the character of present-day Intramuros. Intramuros was also the seat of the Catholic Church, the other prime mover of colonization. The Manila Cathedral was the grandest building, and it evolved through the centuries as it suffered fires, earthquakes, and invasions. Here the missionaries, the vanguards of the Catholic faith, built their best churches and convents. Among them, Santo Domingo, San Ignacio, San Francisco, Recoletos, Lourdes. Only San Agustin survived the ravages of the last World War. And they established schools, such as the University of Santo Tomas, the Ateneo Municipal, San Juan de Letran, among others. From these schools emerged the intellectuals who would defy the colonizers. The residences adapted to the tropics. Wooden columns that resisted earthquakes better than stone foundations. Large windows for maximum ventilation. Steep roofs to shed torrential rains. The best examples have been rebuilt in Plaza San Luis, a cluster that includes Casa Manila. As the commercial entrepot of Asia, Intramuros allowed its residences to be showcases for the unique melding of cultures. Here the works of Philippine craftsmen stood side by side with those from Europe and Asia. The flavor of old Intramuros has been maintained by the restoration of other structures and by designing new buildings in the colonial style. Intramuros has survived ravages of time, natural disasters, wars, and neglect. As it has done so many times in her past, she is again on another threshold in her evolution. The parks and public places within the enclave are being revitalized. Aside from the calesas, motorized tranvias are available for leisurely tours. A full schedule of cultural and art events are slated yearly in the different venues within the walled city. A new maritime museum will rise to house the rich, though largely undiscovered, nautical tradition of the Philippines. The Church of San Ignacio will be reconstructed and made into a museum for the ecclesiastical collection of the Intramuros administration. As she has done so many times in her past, Intramuros, the walled city, rises again, steadily shedding off the veil that has concealed her charm, revealing to us and the following generations a priceless heritage that resounds through the centuries.
Notice na naka-t-shirt lang ako today. Wala ako na yun na tie. Because this is going to be a very fun afternoon for Manila Sound. Yay! Hey Kim, maybe we can start projecting now in Facebook Live. Right, so it's already 3 o'clock. Thank you everyone. So welcome everyone to the 37th episode of the Intramuros Learning Session. So we are now going to start this webinar. So this is your host, Rancho Arcilia. And this episode is brought to you by the Intramuros Administration. So before we start, I'd like to read first some house rules. Okay. So for Zoom attendees, you may raise your questions by the Q&A button. And if you are viewing via Facebook, you may raise your questions in the comment section below. Only those who have successfully registered and viewed on Zoom will be eligible to get a certificate, and a feedback form will be emailed to you after the session. The certificate will be sent within a week. And note that this webinar is recorded, and the recording shall be made permanently available in IA's social media. And for our Facebook viewers right now, you are still you still have a chance to register for Zoom. So this is very important because we are going to have a game. Sorry, and only Zoom participants will be eligible to join in the game. So the registration link is in the comment section of the live podcast. Right. Our topic for today is about Manila Sound with a very distinguished singer, songwriter, and producer. So, a forerunner to OPM, Manila Sound is a popular musical genre that flourished during the 1970s. It was known as the bright side of martial law and can be traced to rock and roll, disco, jazz, and funk music. We're very excited to know more about this topic and to build up the hype further. We are now going to start with our first round of the game. Right. So what is this game that I'm talking about? So guess that song. So this is a little bit of a different twist for our usual mini quiz B. So get a chance to win an Intramuros themed bib card every time you are the first to get the correct answer. So take note, every time that you are the first to get the correct answer. So how do you join? This game is only open to Zoom participants, and if you are viewing via Facebook Live right now, you can still join via Zoom. So the registration link is in the caption of this Facebook Live broadcast. So how do you claim your Intramuros themed gift card? So visit Intramuros when GCQ restrictions have already been lifted. For our winners, this is something extra to look forward to when Intramuros sites are already open in the future. So go to the Intramuros Visitor Center, look for Jeffrey Yap or me, Rancho Arcilia, and present a valid ID to claim your prize. Right. So are we ready? So can we see in the chat now? Are we ready? Right. Thank you. So here is our first song. So the first to guess correctly wins an Intramuros team bid card. And by the way, the person who wins the most number of the person who gets the most correct, like will get a chance to win a cassette tape of the company. So our speaker for today is part of the vocal group, The Company. So we're also going to give this to the person who gets to win the most. Right, so we shall now start. What is this song? Okay, meron na pong nanalo. Ang bilis. The person who won for this question is Mr. Rowell Sura. So congratulations. So once we already beyond GCQ, you can visit us at the Fort Santiago and claim your prize. So something to look forward to when we are already open after this GCQ. Okay, next question. Question number 2. Meron na pong nanalo again. Thank you, si Miss Allen Navarro. So he got the right answer. The answer is High School Life. So this is a song by Sharon Cuneta. This one, third. That's right, Zen. Micah Reganit. The answer is Saranggola ni Pepe. Congratulations. This is like the second time that you won. Last session, you were our winner in our PSP. And then for this first round, the last question is this one. So what is this song? The answer is nakuha po ni Ferdinand Absalon. Tama po. Hindi po. Si Eugene Evasco. Tama po, Ma'am Eugene. Ang tamang sagot po ay kahit maputi na ang buhok ko. Thank you po. Right, so that's our first round. So we're going to have additional rounds later. So for those who are viewing via Facebook, you can still join. So just register for Zoom. Right, so our speaker for today is Mr. Moy Ortiz. Moy is a singer, songwriter, and vocal arranger. He is part of the Filipino vocal group, The Company, together with Ann Quintos, Nick Pelantado, and O.J. Mariano. Through the years, he has delved into album and concert production. His efforts as a performer, songwriter, and record producer have won him several awards, including several Awit and Kata Awards, culminating in Album of the Year from the Awit and Kata, as well as from the Catholic Mass Media Awards. Right, so without further ado, I'd like to call on our speaker, Mr. Moy.
Hi, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Salamat, Rancho. Tuloy na? Game na?
Game na po.
Okay, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay and welcome to Intramuros Learning Sessions Episode 37 entitled The Nostalgia of Manila Sound. Ako po si Moy Ortiz, miyembro at artistic director ng vocal group na The Company. Ako rin po ay isang kompositor, record and concert producer, arranger, the current president of the OPM Archive, workshop master for Trumpets Play Shop, at isang guro sa Mint College. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. I want to thank you all for keeping us good company today as we take a little trip down memory lane. You know, it is said that music is the ultimate time machine. Among music's many magical properties is the ability to transport its audience to a different time and a different place. And today, that's exactly what we're going to do. This is a journey back in time, and we're going to listen to a lot of songs today. It makes no sense to just talk and discuss about the songs. These songs were created and composed to be enjoyed and enjoyed collectively. So, memories and music are intertwined. Next to our olfactory sense, music has the power to instantly take us to that time from our not-so-distant past. In this case, mga 40 years ago. It will remind us of the people who we used to be, the feelings that we felt during those pivotal milestones in our lives that eventually molded us into the person who we are today. It will remind us of the people, the things, the places that are tucked away in the attic of our mind, and instantly, through music, return to the forefront. And all thanks to this magic thing that we love called music. Samahan po ninyo ako ngayon hapon as we take a nostalgic trip down memory lane and let us revisit this musical movement known as the Manila Sound. Now, para magkaintindihan po tayo lahat ngayon, let's all be on the same page. Ano ba yung Manila Sound na yan? I don't wanna assume na everyone is like more or less my age na naabutan ng Manila Sound, but for those who are asking, ano ang Manila Sound? Well, I think it's fair to say masasabi natin na ang Manila Sound ay origins ng contemporary Pinoy pop music. Hold on. There you go. Yung masasabi natin yung pop music na gawang Pinoy at performed by the Pinoy. This is a music genre that started in the mid-70s, around 74, 75, and it reached its apex of popularity at the end of dekada what is 70s in Tagalog? 70? How do you say it? Sorry ha, Ilonggo. My Tagalog isn't that good.
I know in Spanish, 70.
70. O, Espanyol. Salamat, Rancho. So, 79-80. The amazing thing is, the hit songs that came out of that era, the Manila Sound era, embodied the sentiments, the mood, the spirit of the times of what it was to be Filipino, to be a Filipino in the 1970s. Yung letra, the lyrics, it felt more contemporary, kasi compared to the original Filipino music that came before, during the war, or even before that, very formal ang language, ang mode of speech na ginagamit. Pero nung 1970s, suddenly, the lyrics felt more contemporary, authentic, organic to the Filipino music lover. Suddenly, slang, trendy phrases, Taglish, how Filipinos spoke in their everyday lives became acceptable. Acceptable to be played on the radio, acceptable to be performed on the concert stage. Nako, yung mga iba dito alam pa. Words like amats, or tama, astig, tigas, dehins, binabaliktad lang, no? Jeprox. Balita ko yung Jeprox it's derived from the word galing sa mga project. Project 2, Project 3, Jeprox. TL, meaning true love. Chikot, of course, we still use that now. Yossi, we still use that now. Baduy and Bonga. 40 years on, we're still using those slang terms. This refreshing form of music articulated every Juan and Juana de la Cruz's hopes, dreams, desires, and fears. This music that came out of the Manila Sound era cut closer. It reflected the realities of most Pinoys, the everyday experience that we felt. The Manila Sound, well, it refers to a genre of pop music, which may include disco, middle of the road or MOR, rhythm and blues, soul, a bit of folk, kaya nga nandun sila Florante, sila Corita, a bit of rock, sila Sampaguita, sila Mike Hanopol, Juan de la Cruz Band, a bit of funk. We had the bands like The Advisors. Of course, since magagaling talaga tayong mang-aawit, it's very natural to us Pinoys. Nandun rin yung the big ballads at yung mga jukebox. Bago kang magsabi hugot songs, lumabas na yan at nangyari na yan nung Manila Sound era. It would be safe to say that the songs that came out of Manila Sound era were commercial, radio-friendly, accessible. Kaya nga naman, its broad appeal and longevity. A lot of people consider this the first golden age of OPM, original Filipino music. It was during this time, the 70s, when there was a huge explosion of creative and musical output from Filipino music artists. Kumbaga, this was our very own Pinoy modern renaissance. Name any music genre. One could find a Filipino creating excellent music there. It's true that most of these music genres did not originate from our shores. Actually, almost all popular music genres came from the West, mainly the United States and Europe. But it is undeniable that when a Filipino music artist would infuse his or her aesthetics or his or her sensibilities, viewpoints, yung articulation niya into that music genre, this transforms the music genre and it now becomes Pinoy. Maraming nagsasabing very derivative daw ang mga kanta sa Manila Sound era. Minsan tunog Bee Gees, minsan tunog Donna Summer, minsan tunog Village People, minsan tunog Karen Carpenter. To some degree, totoo yun. OPM was still finding its stable foothold amongst its audience and in the music landscape. Now, if a wider acceptance would mean starting with Tagalog adaptations of Western hits, for example, yung best-selling singles, bumili ako nito, ni best-selling single, mga 45, ni Haji Alejandro, entitled Panakip Butas. The Worst That Could Happen. It was an adaptation of Jimmy Webb's song, The Worst That Could Happen. Isa pang adaptation ni Haji Alejandro, Taga raw. Pinoy adaptation, Tagalog adaptation of the Bee Gees song, Charade. Then so be it. Siyempre, ang laban noon was to gain a wider market, a wider audience. So, sige, wag na nating ikwento yon. I-share ko sa inyo, sample lang ng Tagalog adaptation ni Haji. Ito yung mga umpisa ng OPM at Manila Sound. So, doon tayo nag-umpisa sa Tagalog. Ito yung Panakip Butas by Haji Alejandro, released by Gem Records. Panakip Butas. Sing along.
Girl, ikakasal ka nga ba? Dinig ko'y kakasal ka. Unang isip mo, ito ang wakas ng ating usapan. Ngayong may bago ng laman ang buhay, puso't isip mo. Baby, kung mahal ka niyan talaga, sigit pakasal ka, sigit pagpatuloy mo na. Panakip butas ka lamang ako.
Okay, maraming salamat. Haji Alejandro's Panakip Butas. Of course, that was written by Jimmy Webb in the 60s for the Fifth Dimension. Pero ang naggumawa ng Tagalog adaptation noon ay si Willie Cruz, because Willie Cruz was the president of Gem Records. So I believe this was one of the earlier releases of Gem Records. Salamat Rancho for the credit. Okay, ang sarap po sa ating chat. Feel free to sing along. It's a trip down memory lane. Today, it's yesterday once more. Bakit kinailangan muna tayo dumaan sa Tagalog adaptation? Ito yung kwento, friends. Before Manila Sound, there was a segment of Philippine society, usually yung mga burgis at yung mga bata, that looked down on the original Filipino pop music. It was once considered baduy, low class. Suddenly it became, nung lumabas na itong mga kanta that came out of the Manila Sound era, suddenly it became acceptable to the middle class and the educated and even to some members of the elite na okay pala makinig ng Filipino songs. Suddenly, singing Tagalog or Taglish or listening to Filipino songs or Filipino artists became cool. It became hip. It became the in thing, very modern, kumbaga. So, as a collective, we finally embraced our own stories, our own Pinoy sound unapologetically. No excuses, no disclaimers. Eto, little kwento, sidebar, kumbaga. I digress. Personally, I was not living in the city of Manila nung pumutok itong Manila Sound when it exploded on radio and television. Nandun ako sa Bacolod. Why am I bringing this up? Because kahit nandun ako sa Bacolod, all of these new and original Filipino-made and Filipino-performed songs then made it to my province. The hits of Manila Sound were actually national hits. You'd go to any portion of the country and people would know and sing these songs. This has to do with the way music was distributed and promoted during that time. It was a more controlled, centralized, and curated system. Compare it to 2020. Now, it's literally a free-for-all. To each his own, kanya-kanyang playlist na ngayon. So that is the stark contrast between the Manila Sound era and today's Spotify streaming era. Wherein ngayon po, music is consumed and enjoyed not mainly as a collective experience, but more of a headphone or AirPod experience. For many of us today, the enjoyment of music has become, sadly, a solitary and a subjective experience. A lot of us enjoy music on our phones, our laptops, our tablets. But having said that, I personally believe that now, in 2020, we are once again enjoying another golden age of OPM. Today, so many beautiful songs, so many music releases, so many Filipino music artists out there, so many music outlets of distribution for musical content. Siyempre, nandun yung Spotify, yung YouTube, iTunes, Apple Music, Deezer, it's all out there. And it's so easy to release original content, OPM now. Now, the phenomenon of having a national hit like those from the songs from the Manila Sound era, yung mula apari hanggang hulo, alam yung kanta mo at kinakanta, that phenomenon is becoming more and more rare these days as the music market increasingly becomes fragmented and tribal. It's not wrong, it's just different. It's just a whole different thing. But this is a whole topic for another day. Ibang usapan yon about how music is enjoyed and how music is distributed. Ibang topic po yun. Ibang Intramuros learning session yon. Kasi today, it's yesterday once more as we will all enjoy the Manila Sound. Now, di tayo pwedeng mag-usap ng Manila Sound without mentioning, acknowledging, honoring the architects and the pioneers of OPM and the Manila Sound. Kailangan natin pag-usapan ang bandang Hotdog. Many music pundits considered the band Hotdog as the main architects of Manila Sound. Hotdog was a Filipino band formed by brothers Dennis and Rene Garcia. Mga lasalista yon. And sadly, both of these musical geniuses are no longer with us. but their legacy is with us forever and ever. So if it's widely accepted that the Manila Sound era started in the mid-70s, 74, 75, what was happening? Ano bang nangyayari noong 1974 sa Maynila? Well, eto yung kwento for those who weren't there. In 1974, the Miss Universe beauty pageant was held here in the city of Manila at the Folk Arts Theater. And at that time, it was a super big deal for the Philippines to be hosting such a high-profile international event. Siyempre, itong brothers, sila Denny, quick to the draw, the Garcia brothers penned the song, Ikaw ang Miss Universe ng buhay ko, to capture the spirit of the times, the zeitgeist of Manila and the Philippines. They released the song on Hotdogs' debut album entitled Unang Kagat. Enjoyin po natin. Here's a sample, ha? Here is a sample of that song. Sandali lang po. If you know the song, medyo mahirap-hirap ang melody. Ang malalalim ang chords, pero ganun ang pop music noon. Malalalim ang chords. Ito po, gawa nila noong 74, Ikaw ang Miss Universe ng buhay ko, dulot sa inyo ng hotdog. Sing along!
Ikaw ang Miss Universe.
Nyari. Sige lang, be patient. Nasa Pilipinas tayo.
Buhay ko.
Nangyayari talaga yon.
Ilang beses ko pa naman sasabihin sa'yo, sa piling mo'y tanggal ang lumbay, may kasiyahan, walang kapantay. Ikaw ang Miss Universe
Hirap nun.
ng buhay ko.
This song is from Wilbert's Hard to Find.
Talagang linagyan ng ng watermark yung YouTube file. Okay. So, that was Ikaw ang Miss Universe ng buhay ko. Okay, let's move on. Yung mga, yung mga comments on the chat, si Rancho will, we'll work on that later. Hindi namin po kayo ini-ignore, pero nakakaduling po if you're, multitasking. Pero Rancho will curate all of your comments and questions. Let's continue sa ating biyahe. So that was on their first album, their debut album called Unang Kagat, Hotdog. Now, eto, the term, actually, yung term na Manila Sound, possibly urban myth, may have been derived from Hotdogs' hit anthem, syempre yung title, Manila, which was released in 1976 under the RCA Victor label. Yeah, international na label. Here is the sample. I'm sure alam nyo na tong kantang to, pero it's nice to hear it. Let's enjoy it. Manila by Hotdog. Doon daw galing yung term na Manila Sound dahil naging hit ito. Anthem. Okay, please work.
Manila, I keep coming back to Manila. Simply ain't no place like Manila. Manila, I'm coming home. I walked the streets of San Francisco. I tried the rides in Disneyland. Dated a million girls in Sydney. Somehow I feel like I don't belong. Hinahanap kita Manila. Ang ingay mong kay sarap sa tenga. Mga jeepney mong nagliliparan. Mga babae mong nagagandahan. Take me back in your arms.
galing. Up to now. Diba when we just did what was that? The ASEAN? That was the song that they played. So I know, 76, it's 2020. Hanggang ngayon, 44 years on. Naging anthem na yun ng OPM halos, yung Manila. Let's move on. The catalog of hits of the band Hotdog was enormous. Among these include Bongga Kaday, Annie Batumbakal, Bebu Tinga, Dying to Tell You, Langit na Naman, Perslab, and many more. So you could see they were using a lot of slang. And it felt really contemporary and modern and hip. Kaya lumaki ng ganon. And these were songs that came from Tula Salistas and their lead singer, mga kolehialas. So, all the more, it just became acceptable na hindi na baduy ang OPM. So, it is safe to say that the brothers Rene and Dennis Garcia of the band Hotdog lay the groundwork. Hold on. Okay. Give me a moment. They lay the groundwork for OPM. Okay. Can you give me a moment? My teleprompter is not working. Okay. Nangyayari talaga po. This is live. It's not pre-recorded. Nag-freak out ang tablet. That's okay. Tuloy lang natin yung biyahe natin.
Sir, would you like me to have a game muna while you are...
Yeah, that would be nice. Game, Rancho. Thanks for saving me.
Okay, so we're going to have round 2 of our game. So if you're viewing via Facebook, feel free to join us. So the join link is in the caption of the live broadcast. So because this game is only open to Zoom participants. Right, so we are now proceeding with our round 2 of our game. Right. So, guess that song. Paunahan po sa chat button. Yun, meron na kagad nakakuha. Ang first na nakakuha ay si Marlu Calderon. The answer po is Bato sa Buhangin. That is correct. Okay, so next one. Paunahan po. Ano kaya itong song? Yan, may nakuha ka agad. Ang bilis ha. Ang nakuha po ay si Ninya Angelica Venus. Ang tamang sagot po ay Kapag Tumibok ang Puso. Okay, so question number 7. Yan, ang bilis ni ang bilis ni Emeline Orlain. Ang tamang sagot po ay Katawan by Nagigis. Ito, medyo mahirap to. Question number 8. Ay, ang galing. Si Christian and Sila. Tama po. Tama sagot po ay Ituing Walang Ningning. So, ano siya? Black siya kasi hindi siya numiningning. Pun intended. And then, for this round, so this is our 9th question. Guess that song. Uy, ang galing na po. That si Ninya. Oh, nanalo ulit si Ninya Angelica Venus. Tama sagot po ay Isang Linggong Pag-ibig. Right. So, Sir Moy? Okay.
I'm good.
Sige po.
Marunong rin. Am I okay? How's my audio and video? Okay na po, Sir Rancho?
Okay na po.
Okay. Maraming salamat. People, thank you for your patience, ha? Medyo sumemplang yung aking teleprompter dito. So that means hindi mo talaga matrust ang bagong technology. Timing naman, dahil nung sumemplang yon, we are just at the next chapter of today's talk. Now, the following are the three major music movements within the Manila Sound era. Yung unang movement, Manila Sound was at the height of disco. The popularity of Manila Sound was at the height of disco. We're talking 1977, 1979. Because the height of Manila Sound era was smack in the middle of the disco years, many of the biggest hits were disco songs. Buoyant, spirited, or just flat out fun. Many considered the disco years as an escape to the problems of the times. In Manila, we were dealing with martial law, the oil crisis, the widening disparity between the haves and the have-nots, a lot of political, social, and economic tensions. So it felt natural that escapism would be the answer. Some form of reprieve and relief from life's problems. A place where people would forget their troubles and just feel good for a little while. And you know what? Disco was the answer. The more successful disco acts in the disco genre, that is Pinoy disco acts, in the disco genre during the Manila Sound era, were the following. Gusto ko lang i-clear na this list is not comprehensive. Pero ito yung mga major players. Take note, yung aking t-shirt na suot, isang parangal sa Kings of Disco. So here, our first disco hit maker nung Manila Sound, VST and Company. Best known for their disco anthems that were orchestrated, beautifully arranged, and performed, and produced. Ang galing ng mix. Pakinggan nyo ngayon. Hanggang ngayon, it still works. It doesn't sound dated. The core group of the band was composed of the Soto brothers, Val Soto and Vic Soto. Sometimes he used the name Vic Soto. And also the Rigor brothers, sila Spanky, Roger, and Male Rigor. Plus many other session musicians that made up the iconic band VST and Company. There were a lot of changes in personnel. So, ang daming nakalista sa members through the years, no? Moreover, the live performing members most of them did not play the instruments on the records. Most of the songs that were performed by A-list studio session instrumentalists, sila Roger Herrera, sila June Regalado, sila pong tumugtog sa plaka. Pero ibang nagpo-perform sa mga concerts. Their biggest hits include the dance floor burners Disco Fever, Awitin Mo, Isasayaw Ko, Kiss Kiss, Step No, Step Yes, Swing, Tayo'y Magsayawan, and Rock Baby Rock. Now, since all of those songs were like massive, big hits, most of those songs became also movie titles. Here's a sample of the disco anthem and OPM hits of VSN Company.
Sama sa ligaya, magsayawan hanggang magtumpaga. Di na kailangan
Maraming salamat. VST, forever hits na po yan. Of course, we did mention na Hotdog, the so-called architects of the Manila Sound, they also had disco hits. Rancho, are you ready on sa playlist mo? If you could play, can you find on your playlist, because it's not ready here, can you find Hotdog, Bongga Kaday?
Bongga Kaday.
Yes. Kung pwede, favor lang, bro. As you can see, the term bongga, we're still using it now and it's slang. It was originally Sward speak, but now, you know, it's in the mainstream. That term is still being used. So here is a sample of Hotdog's disco hit, Bongga Kaday, and I believe naging pelikula pa nga ito. Rancho, pasample naman, oh. That was the sample. Okay na yan, boss. Okay na yan. Thank you, Rancho. Isa pang grupo, dito I was surprised dahil akala ko yung awiting to galing sa VST and Company. I was wrong. Itong awiting na to ay galing sa grupong The Boyfriends. The Boyfriends, they were a recording artist of Octo Arts Records, major label during that time. The Boyfriends came before VST and Company. Ang kwento nga, when Senator Tito Soto, pero at that time, hindi pa siya senador, he was the vice president of Vicor Music Corporation, heard a waitress singing the hit song of the Boyfriends, Dahil Mahal Kita. Dahil mahal kita sa'yo lamang mag-alala. Narinig niya yung waitress kumakanta nun. He then decided to form a rival group sa Vicor Music Corporation, and which became VST and Company. So, yun nga, I was surprised. This song is not VST, but is actually by the Boyfriends. Ito po yung awitin na the disco song, Sumayaw, Sumunod.
Ang kasiyahan ng tunay na pagmamahalan ay mararamdaman, lalo na't kung nagsasayawan. Awiting bago ay naghihintay para isayaw mo. Awiting bago ay naghihintay upang isayaw mo. Sumayaw, sumunod ka sa aking tagtag, panahon kasabay ng mga bagong tutugin ngayon. Sumayaw, sumunod ka sa aking tagtag, panahon makisama, mag-enjoy na ngayon.
Very good. Sarap. Sarap ng mix, sarap ng kanta at ng areglo. The Boyfriends. Okay, let's move on to another OPM act who had a lot of hits during the disco era of Manila Sound. Itong grupo ay tawag Hagibis. The Philippines answer to the village people. Sabi ng mga bata dito, sino yung village people? They were a song and dance performing group that dressed in hyper-masculine archetypes. You can see, there's a biker, there's a cowboy, ganun na, very costumey. Stage performing members were the late Sonny Parsons, Bernie Fineza, Mike Respal, Joji Garcia, and Mon Picazo. Now, ito yung little secret na hindi na alam ng marami. Unbeknownst to most, katulad ng VST and Company, all the vocals of the group Hagibis were performed in the studio by the Pinoy rock legend Mike Hanopol, formerly of the band Juan de la Cruz. So yung naririnig natin sa mga aplaka, boses po ni Mike Hanopol yun, and he just overdubbed and double-tracked, stacked vocals. So here's a sample of Hagibis' big hit, Katawan. Pakinggan po natin. Vocals, Mike Hanopol. So you could see that Mike Hanopol was singing in octaves, as a tenor and as a bass. Tapos full orchestra ang areglo nun. Some of you might remember this song and the songs of Hagibis because ginamit po yan sa TV show ng Palibhasa at Lalaki in the 80s. Okay, moving on. More disco hits from the Manila Sound. Si Megastar. She was super young, teenager pa noon. She had a disco song in 1979 called Iswing Mo Ako. Pakinggan po natin si Sharon in her youth singing disco. Ganda ng areglo. You hear the disco strings.
Frisco, right there.
Bawat tugtuging bago, bawat sayaw na pang disco ay nasubukan ko. Ngunit naging ganado ang sayaw na nauso ay ang sayaw na ito. Swing ang tawag dito, pinaghalong boogie at tango, pinagka-grooving sayaw.
Uh-oh. Come on, don't fail me now. Ganun talaga po ang
Sayaw para sa akin,
Wi-Fi. Tuloy ang sayaw.
sa inyo. Swing ngayon ang puso at sayaw saan man disco. So swing, swing, iswing mo ako. At sa tugtuging nito, nais ko ay idip mo ako. So swing, swing, iswing mo ako.
Sharon Cuneta singing about the disco dance swing. If you can hear, I mean, I think the common thread among all of these OPM disco songs is they have disco strings on top of that, and the kick bass is 4 on the floor, and thick ang tag dito bass, so that makes the disco sound. Eto, for our last example of a disco hit during the Manila Sound era, we want to feature Ella Del Rosario. Si Ella Del Rosario, formerly lead singer ng band na Hotdog, yung pinag-usapan natin kanina. She left the group, she left the band Hotdog to become a hit maker as a soloist, and she is the original singer of this song, Mr. Disco, in 1979.
Di mo lang alam
Come on, don't fail me now.
ang aking nadarama, iniisip at minamahal kita. Noong araw pa
I think Manilyn Reyes covered this
Mr.
in the
Disco,
90s.
Mr. Disco. Bawat kilos mo, pag nagsasayaw ka na, formang-forma, ang galing mong magdala. Bagyong talaga, lahat napapalingon, hangang-hanga, superstar ka na ngayon. Kaya Mr. Disco,
Chorus?
mahal kita. Shout out, Mr. Disco, Mr. Disco, maestro. Disco, oh disco, Mr. Disco, maestro. Pwede ka bang makapiling sa aking pagsasayaw? Shout out, Mr. Disco, Mr. Disco, maestro. Disco, oh disco, Mr. Disco, maestro. Lagi kong pinapangarap ang ika'y makasama.
So there is the iconic hit of Ella Del Rosario, Mr. Disco. So from the Manila Sound era, ang dami pong disco hit songs na naging eternal hits. Kasi hanggang ngayon, we love the songs, we enjoy the songs, and we play the songs. Okay, the second chapter of this Manila Sound era is, first we talked about disco music. The second one is mainstream pop. In the 1970s, when you said pop music, it had a certain sound that sounded, well, for lack of a better word, popular. It had melody, it had structure, the lyrics were carefully crafted and measured. The high respect for the craft of song making was there. Yeah, the songs were very catchy and commercial. Now, since a lot of Filipinos love to sing, the songs became hits. The songs that became hits were also very singable for even non-professionals. A lot of these mainstream Manila Sound pop songs are still alive and well in the consciousness of even today's generation, 2020 ngayon. Here is a sampler of the big pop music hits that came out of the Manila Sound era. Enjoyin po natin. Ito, feeling ko, sing-along time na naman tayo dito. The first sample, Sharon Cuneta. The teenager Sharon Cuneta started her career with her two Ray Valera compositions. Yung una, Mr. DJ, and yung pangalawa, Kahit Maputi Man Ang Buhok Ko. Here is the breakout hit that made Sharon Cuneta, our megastar, a certified recording hitmaker.
Mr. DJ, can I make a request? Pwede ba yung love song ko? Mr. DJ, para sa akin ito, sana ay okay sa'yo. Hihintayin ko na patugtugin mo. Thank you uli sa'yo. Kahit luma na ang aming awit, nais ko ring man lang sa'king alaala ay magkasama ko siya. Nasaan man siya, mayroon mang iba, ito'y para sa kanya.
Chorus.
At sana'y nakikinig siya, naaalala kaya niya ang love song namin noon na niluma na ng panahon. Mr. DJ, salamat sa'yo, sumasabay din ako
Gawa po ito ni Ray Valera.
sa love song namin noon na niluma na ng panahon.
That was a very, very young Sharon Cuneta with her breakout song, Mr. DJ, composed by Ray Valera. Speaking of Ray Valera, the struggling singer, songwriter from Bulacan hit it big when he penned Mr. DJ for Sharon and made her a recording star. Though Ray wasn't, conventionally handsome, which was an important requirement in the recording industry, especially during the 70s, the bosses at Vico Recording Company gave him a break as a recording artist on the strength of his batting average in coming up with hit songs. After that success of Mr. DJ, you can just imagine, right? His lilting ballads gave him a string of hits like Maging Sino Ka Man at Malayo Pa Ang Umaga. Ito po ang isa sa mga idolo ko, singer-songwriter that came out and started during the Manila Sound era, Ray Valera with Malayo Pa Ang Umaga. Sing along!
Malayo pa ang umaga kahit sa dilim.
Come on.
Naghihintay
Brown
pa
out.
rin, umaasang bukas ay may liwanag sa aking buhay. Umaga ko'y aking hinihintay. Sadya kaya ang buhay sa mundo ay kay pait, walang kasing lupit. Kailan kaya ako'y di naluluha at ang aking pangarap ay unti-unting matutupad.
Going to the big chorus.
Malayo pa ang umaga, di matanaw ang pag-asa. Hanggang kailan matitiis ang paghihirap ko, at sa dilim hinahanap ang pag-asa na walang landas. Kailan ba darating ang bukas para sa'kin? Malayo pa ang umaga, di matanaw ang pag-asa.
So that's a really beautiful song by Ray Valera. Tuloy po natin. So we're talking about mainstream pop hits during the Manila Sound era. Of course, one of my music heroes and mentors, the Apo Hiking Society. This hit-making trio composed of Jim Paredes, Danny Javier, Boboy Garuvillo, achieved tremendous success and iconic status with their hits. Ito yung hits during the Manila Sound era. Siyempre, dumami pang hits na during the 80s. during the with their hits during that time, Love is for Singing, Mahirap Magmahal ng Syota ng Iba, Nakapagtataka, Pumapatak na Naman ang Ulan, Lumang Tugtugin. So, you know, these songs were hits from the mid-70s up to the end of the 70s. So, ang dami nilang hits talaga. Aside from being engaging, energetic, and entertaining live performers, the members of Apo knew the ins and out on how to craft a hit record, being producers, arrangers, marketing executives for the record company, Gem Records. Yung sinabi ko sa inyong Gem, kung saan nanggaling si Haji. Here is a sample of one of their hits of the Apo during the Manila Sound era.
Pumapatak na naman ang ulan sa bubong ng bahay. Di maiwasang gumawa ng di inaasahang bagay. Laklak ng laklak ng beer ng magdamagan. May kahirapan at di maiwasan. Mabuti pa kayang matulog ka na lang at baka sumakit ang tiyan. Ang araw ko'y nabubusisi, ako ang nasisisi. Bakit ba sila ganyan? Ang pera ko ay di magkasya, hindi makapagsine at ayaw namang dagdagan. Ubus na rin ang beer, kaya kape na lang lahat. Sinusubukan kahit walang pulutan. Ang buhay ng tamad, walang hinaharap, ni konting sarap man lang.
You can hear the flute solo there. Totoong flute, hindi siya synthesizer. So it's mainstream OP, it's mainstream pop, but with infuses of jazz. Ganun ang Apo, ang galing. They are able to infuse their mainstream pop songs with the music genres that they really like, jazz. Tuloy po natin yung biyahe natin sa mainstream pop during Manila Sound era. I want to feature a good friend. Her name is Celeste Legaspi. She is considered as OPM's first crossover pop soprano. She is considered by many as the first diva of the Manila Sound era. Celeste garnered many mainstream hits, even beyond the Manila Sound era. But ito po yung pinaka-popular niya na pop songs. And strangely, both songs are story songs, narratives. This one is called Saranggola ni Pepe. This one is composed by her husband, Nonoy Gallardo. Pakinggan po natin, Saranggola ni Pepe.
Matayog ang lipad ng saranggola ni Pepe. Matayog ang pangarap ng matandang bingi. Umihip ang hangin na wala sa paningin. Sigaw ng kahapon, nilamon ng alon. Malabo ang tunog ng kampanilya ni Padre. Maingay ang taginting, rosaryo ng babae. Nay, 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 nay.
That's the hook of the song.
Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay.
Maraming usap-usapan nga na there are hidden messages in that song Saranggola ni Pepe na it's like there is a code na it could have a political or rebellious message within the song. But you know what the nice thing is, the composer None Gallardo refuses to give it up, to give away the secret. Sabi niya, it is what it is, and if you can see anything subversive or if it's a code for anything, that's your interpretation. Tuloy po natin. So that was the first diva of OPM, Celeste Legaspi. Ito naman, Leah Navarro, wag kayong magkamali at magsabing Leia Navarro. Ayaw niya yun. Leah Navarro. This Assumptionista colegiala brought class and polish in the Manila Sound era. Alongside Celeste Legaspi, Leah is considered to be one of OPM's first ingenue. Her hits include Kailangan Kita and Ligaw Tingin. Here is a sample. I even have memories. Binili namin yung LP nito. Kailangan Kita by Leah Navarro. Released by Black Gold Records. One of the greats. Come on.
Kailangan kita, bakit kailangan kita? Bakit uhaw sa hamog ang bulaklak tuwina? Bakit ang awit ay kailangan na na kailangan na titik, na kailangan na tinig.
Full orchestra yan.
Kailangan kita, kung gano'y di ko alam, basta't kailangan kita, magpakailan paman. Sakali sika, ako'y lisanin mo na. Buhay kumat kaluluwa ay di na kailangan pa.
Napakaganda ng awitin ni Leah Navarro. Moving on. Ito naman, we want to feature Basil Valdez. This living legend is considered by many as OPM's first king. Basil amassed an impressive canon of timeless hits when he started his solo career during the Manila Sound era. His 1977 solo debut album, entitled Ngayon at Kailanman, was an instant smash across the board. His style and music was always poetic, introspective, passionate, and emotional. The hits kept on coming one after the other. Songs during that era lang songs like Hanggang sa Dulo ng Walang Hanggan, Iduyan Mo, Kastilyong Buhangin, Nais Ko, and so much more. Ang sarap po because this year, Basil is celebrating his 50th year in the entertainment industry and is still actively performing and recording. Ito po ang one of his best, eternal, beautiful OPM hits, Basil Valdez, Kastilyong Buhangin. Enjoyin po natin.
Minsan ang isang pangako'y maihahambing sa isang kastilyong buhangin. Sakdal, rupok at huwag di masaling, guguho sa ihip ng hangin. Ang alon ng maling pagmamahal, ang siyang kalaban niyang mortal. Kapag dalampasigay na haggan, ang kastilyo ay nabubuwal. Kaya't bago natin bigkasin ang sintang sumpa sa minumutya, sa diwa gawa. Baka isipin natin kung pag-ibig ay wagas, kahit pa magsanga ng landas.
It feels like a crime that I have to cut the song. Napakaganda. It's so poetic and the melodies are just amazing. Talking about kings of OPM, ito another king of OPM. Tapos na tayo sa queens of OPM, si Celeste and Leah. Ito po, si Rico J. Puno, the late soul balladeer acclaimed for a number of hit songs including Lupa, Damdamin, May Bukas Pa, Kapalaran, Macho Guapito. Rico was like the Elvis of the Manila Sound era in the sense that his concerts and his albums and special events appearances would always cause mayhem and pandemonium. A certified superstar on stage and on records. This is one of the greats. Rico J. Puno with Kapalaran. Napakaganda po nito. Pakinggan po natin.
Bakit ba ganyan
Wow.
ang
Oh, come on.
buhay ng tao?
The words, the melody, it's just perfect.
Mayroong mayaman, may api sa mundo. Kapalaran kung hanapin, di matagpuan. At kung minsa'y lumalapit nang di mo alam.
Hook.
O bakit kaya may ligaya't lumbay
Here we go. This is the one.
sa pag-ibig? May bigot tagumpay, di malaman, di maisip kung anong kapalaran sa atin ay naghihintay.
That song, Kapalaran by Rico J. Puno, recorded by Rico J. Puno, is truly a masterpiece. Ang ganda, ganda ng lyrics at ng melody. Okay, moving on. Na-emotional ako doon. Ganda. Okay, our last sample for mainstream pop in Manila Sound era is this band, Cinderella. Cinderella is a pop band more commonly known for its love songs and very soft and soothing female vocals. The two main female vocalists were Yoli Samson, who you can see now on the screen, the late Yoli Samson. But the first vocalist was Kito Colaiko. Kito Colaiko. Siya yung first singer ng Cinderella. And I was reading, there was someone who asked, why did they name the group Cinderella? Because si Kito Colaiko, very strict yung parents. And she couldn't record beyond 12 midnight. I think, first of all, because there was curfew. Parang tayo ngayon, no? There was curfew during the Manila Sound era. And stricto talaga ang parents ni Kito Colaiko. So ang sabi nila, kailangan maaga matapos ang recording. So, ang tawag nila, Cinderella. So, that's the reason why the band is called Cinderella. Dahil strict ang parents ni Kito Colaiko. Here is a sample. Marami silang hits. Yung kinanta ni Kito Colaiko is TL Ako Sa'yo. And then, this one, Bato sa Buhangin, kinanta ni Yoli Samson. Sa aking pag-iisa, ang boyfriend kong Baduy. Baduy. Naku, ang pagkabisaya ko lumabas, Badoy. Anyway, yung Berkeley alumna Kito Colaiko and the late Yoli Samson, yeah, I said that na. Here's a sample of one of the hits of the band Cinderella, composed by the late Snafu Rigor. Napakaganda po nito. Even the arreglo, hindi pa siya dated.
Kapag ang puso'y natutong magmahal, bawat tibok ay may kulay at buhay. Ngunit kung ang pagsuyo'y lilipas din, bagay kaya ang bato sa
Ganda ng imagery.
buhangin. Kahirap unawain bawat damdamin. Pangakong magmahal hanggang libing.
Here is the hook of the song.
Sa langit may tagpuan din at doon hihintayin itong bato sa buhangin.
Rest in peace, Snafu Rigor and Yoli Samson. Your beautiful legacy stays with us. Maraming salamat. Ang gaganda po, no, ng mga mainstream pop hits na lumabas doon lang within that 5-year, 6-year period ng Manila Sound era. And now we come to the last chapter that I want to discuss about like a major chapter in the Manila Sound era. Ito po yung Metro Pop hits. The third and final movement that we shall explore in the Manila Sound era are the OPM evergreens that were born out of the Metro Manila Popular Music Festival. This was formed in 1977 by the Popular Music Foundation of the Philippines. Yung objective nito was to promote the advancement of Filipino music. These festivals launched many careers of songwriters and the singers who interpreted the entry songs. The Metro Pop Song Festival catalog forms the bedrock and foundation of OPM as we know it today. Alam ko, magwa 1 hour na tayo, so magmamadali na tayo. We cannot sample everything. But yung highlights po. Ito po, the first Metro Manila Pop Song Festival, held in 1978, gave birth to these amazing OPM eternal hits. Alam nyo na po ito. Ito yung feeling natin unofficial anthem of OPM. Pakinggan po natin.
Tulad ng titulo nito, kay ganda ng ating musika.
Composer Ryan Cayabyab, interpreter Haji Alejandro.
1978, Ryan and Haji.
Tunay na kay ganda ng ating musika.
This
So
was
there
the
you are, you
moment
have
that they won.
Haji interpreting the song, the winning song of Ryan Cayabyab, who is now richer by 30,000 pesos, and who of course has gained for himself or garnered for himself the title of Composer of the Year in this search by the Pop Music Foundation.
In grand prize
And so,
doon,
ladies and gentlemen,
30,000
by
pesos.
special request, we would like to request Haji Alejandro, the interpreter, to once again render the winning song, Kay Ganda ng
Yan.
Ating Musika,
Kukumpas si
composed by
Ryan.
Ryan Cayabyab.
Ano? Tutugtog si Ryan. Here we go. Live. The moment of triumph.
Magmula nung ako'y natutong umawi, naging makulay ang aking munting daigdig. Tila ilog pala ang pag-ibig, kung malalim damdamin pag-ibig, kung umapaw ang kaluluwa't tinig, ay sadyang nanginginig.
Wow, nanalo.
Magmula nung ako'y natutong umawi, bawat sandali aking pilit mabatid, ang himig na may tuturing ating mapupuri pagkat bukod kami, di marami ang di magsasabing eto na inyong dinggin.
Everybody, sing along.
Ay ganda ng ating musika, ay ganda ng ating musika, ay ating sariling atin, at sa habang buhay awitin natin. Ay ganda ng ating musika, ay ganda ng ating musika, ito ay ating sariling atin.
So that is Ryan Cayabyab's Kay Ganda ng Ating Musika. That's the real footage from 1978. Ang dami pa pong naging hit na awitin from the very first 1978 Metro Pop Song Festival. Ewan ko kung some of you know the song made famous by Regine Velasquez, Narito Ako. Dun po nanggaling sa first Metro Pop Song Fest. It was music and lyrics by Nonong Pedero and interpreted by Maricris Bermont. Sadly, we don't have enough time to listen to this sample. Ano pang mga kantang lumabas sa first Metro Pop? Yung kanta ni Freddie Aguilar, Anak, the song that became a hit all over the world. Here's a sample of Anak, a song that came out of the first Metro Pop Song Festival. This is rare footage. I think this is Japanese TV where he guessed it. Freddie Aguilar.
Nung isilang ka sa mundong ito, laking tuwa ng magulang mo, at ang kamay nila ang iyong ilaw. At ang nanay at tatay mo'y di malaman ang gagawin, pinamasdan pati pagtulog mo. Sa gabi nagpupuyat ang iyong nanay sa pagtimpla ng gatas mo. At sa umaga na may kalong ka ng iyong amang tuwang-tuwa sa'yo.
So that anthem, that OPM pillar, eternal hit, dun po galing sa Metro Pop. I don't know if some of you also know this song made famous by Janet Basco and Celeste Legaspi, yung awitin na Minsan Pa. Dun po, it was composed by Jose Marichan, I believe. Yeah, and yes, dun po nanggaling sa first Metropop. Some song, other hits that came out of that first festival was Joel Navarro's Suerte, Suerte, Suerte lang pag umuulan. Lahat ng kantang yon galing lang sa isang festival. Wait, I think minsan pa the lyrics were also done by Rolando Tino. So, going to the next year, the second Metropop Song Festival held in 1979 gave birth to these OPM Eternal Hits. Yung nanalo, grand prize winner, was Bulag, Pipi at Bingi. Sinulat ni Snafu Rigor, the person who wrote Bato sa Buhangin sa Cinderella, interpreted by Freddie Aguilar. Ito po yung second prize winner, written by Louis Ocampo and Winnie Arrieta, interpreted by Apo Hiking Society. Hanggang ngayon kinakanta pa natin to. Simple, light, and beautiful. Oh, come on, man.
Hindi ko alam kung bakit ka ganyan. Mahirap kausapin at di pa namamansin. Di mo ba alam ako'y nasasaktan, ngunit di ba linabastan. Malaman mo na
Chorus?
mahal kita, hindi dobola. Hindi ka man lang sana, ako'y nasa langit na. Mahal kita, hindi dobola. Sumagot ka naman, wag lang ewan.
Galing po ni Louis Ocampo. Very pop and simple and catchy melody. From the second Metropop, nandun rin yung kanta ni Charo Unite entitled Lupa, interpreted by Rico Puno. Tapos yung hit ni Dulce, Ako ang nasawi, Ako ang nagwagi. And then for the jazzers out there, a song by Bong Gabriel, ang title, Ang Aking Awitin. I think kinover to ng side A. Na 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 na. And also, believe it or not, itong awitin na galing na pasikat ng ABS-CBN Morning Show, this song from second Metropop Festival.
Basta tayo'y magkasama, laging mayroong umagang kay ganda, parang sikat ng araw.
Vocals by Lily Moreno and Rayan Fuentes.
Sa ating pangarap, haharapin natin.
That was composed by Butch Montserrat, Babes Conde, Greek Hortaleza, and Annabelle Lee. Wait, my dog is barking. You wanna come in? May audience pa rin ako dito. Anyway, for our last sample po, the last sample is the third Metropop Song Festival. It's considered during the last day or the last year of the Manila Sound era, 1980. Ang grand prize winner po was Lia Navarro's Isang Mundo, Isang Awit, music and lyrics by Nonang Pedero. And on a reconciliatory tone, we would like to end today's webinar with this message. In 2020, the message is still timely and timeless. Pakinggan po natin.
Ikaw at ako, hindi man magdalahi ay dapat magtutong magmahal. Ituring mong tayong lahat ay magkakapatid. Ikaw at ako, hindi man magdalahi ay dapat magtutong
So that is a call to unity from the song Ikaw Ako, Tayo Magkakapatid, music and lyrics by Jose Lozano, interpreted by the New Minstrels. So today I'd like to end with this message. Although this presentation doesn't give you the entire story of such a vibrant era in contemporary Philippine music, my aim is to share with all of you the variety, the breadth, and the scope of original Filipino music that came out of the Manila Sound era. As you can see, some of these songs are already more than 40 years old. This is proof positive that a good song, no matter how old it is, whatever the music genre is, has no expiration date. Common human emotions, stories that are relatable and accessible, memorable and catchy melodies and lyrics will always survive the test of time and trends. There are those who hold the firm belief that OPM songs from the Manila Sound years were absolutely the best music this country has ever produced. Opinions like these are highly subjective. As I mentioned earlier, music and memories are intertwined. Music triggers the people, things, and places that are tucked away in the attic of our mind. It differs from generation to generation. Sandali ha, my dog is like panicking. Sorry about that. Okay, new realities, the dog. Okay, sorry about that, very unprofessional. To continue, it differs from generation to generation. Right now, ang uso ngayon when you talk about nostalgia is 90s nostalgia. Hence the fondness for Eraserheads, Francis Magalauna, River Maya. Yun ang uso ngayon. No matter who you are, you will always have a special fondness for the music that served the soundtrack of your youth. Doesn't matter if you were a carefree kid of the 70s or the 80s or the 90s. It is what it is. The soundtrack of a more carefree, simpler, mortgage-free, responsibility-free version of yourself. And I think that's perfectly all right. Everyone has the right to indulge in a little nostalgia once in a while, to revisit one's youth, one's former self. That's perfectly okay to go back to yesterday. Nostalgia will always be bittersweet because of the feeling that it just seems like yesterday. And simultaneously, that yesterday also feels so far away. As I said, it is what it is. So it's best to just dive in headfirst and enjoy your personalized, sentimental journey through music. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat at sinamahan ninyo kami ngayong hapon. Sana naman nag-enjoy kayo sa aming munting palabas. Do we still have time to do the little Q&A or we're skipping that, Rancho? Anong balita?
If you are okay po with accommodating some of the questions.
Are you okay? I was kind of worried. I know that we're over time, but I may not have all of the answers to the questions, but I'll try my best. Do we still continue? Ang daming questions, Rancho.
Maybe we can...
Anong decision po ninyo?
We can take 2 to 3 questions siguro po. So,
Okay, so which questions do we... Patras, anong gusto nyo?
maybe I can ask first. Of all the
Sige.
music that you have shared, do you have a personal favorite?
Akin?
Yes.
Siyempre, mahal ko si Basil. Mahal ko si Basil professionally. Basil Valdez. Teka, dumidilim na. Mahal ko si Basil professionally and personally. You know, ang swerte ni Basil because he was, well, wag na tayo magbulahan, you know. You become the king of an emperor of OPM if you are able to sell records. And Basil had the pick of the crop in terms of compositions. At his beck and call, yung 3 C's, Kayabyab, Willie Cruz, and Canseco. Lahat ng yung sala napupunta una si Basil because he had first choice sa 3 C's, Kayabyab, Canseco, and Willie Cruz. His songs are eternal. The fact that 50 years he's still recording and still doing shows. I just met him last week sa Shangri-La Mall. And dahil sa pandemya na to, he had to cancel 8 concerts. So that shows on the strength of his catalog, of his hits, even at his advanced age, and 50 years in the industry, he is still viable and a force to be reckoned with in OPM. Yun po. Basil Valdez po.
Thank you so much. Meron po tayong katanungan kay Arvin Leasing. So tinatanong po niya, can you describe briefly the way music was distributed nationally during the Manila Sound era?
Well, basically during 74 to 1980, wala pang internet. Wala pang cable. No cables. So basically the forms of music, the forms of entertainment were the radio. Even at that time, wala pa yatang FM. AM pa yun AM radio. Sa dulo na lang, 79, 80, nagka-FM na tayo. But so it was basically records, buying records, listening to music on the radio, and watching movies. So those were the main sources of distribution of content for entertainment. Of course, now in 2020, mind-blowing. Everything is streaming and you can get any music in any part of the world. So it was pretty much centralized and controlled. Kontrolado kung sinong gagawa ng plaka, kung saan madidistribute, at kung saan mapapatugtog. Of course, you had television, no? You had television. So very limited. So kung lumabas ka sa isang TV show, like an evening with Pilita, or isang lunch show tulad ng Discorama, or lunch show ng the early lunch shows, kahit na Itbulaga, they started in 79 or 78, I believe. Big deal yun dahil everything was a collective experience. Radio was a collective experience. TV was a collective experience. The cinema was a collective experience. Concerts were a collective experience. So people experience the music together. Iba yun, di ba? When we watch movies in the theater ngayon, iba yung dating ng emotions mo when you're all experiencing it at the same time. That was the way music was at the same. It was a collective experience. So amazing kasi papunta ng 50 years old yung mga awitin na ito, pero mahal pa rin natin. Hindi pa rin siya na nakakalimutan. Sabi nga ng writer and lyricist na si Baby Hill, a song that is not sung is a dead song. So, napakaswerte mo if your songs survive the test of time and trend.
Thank you so much po. May tanong po dito mula kay Eugene Vasco. So, question, paano naging instrumento na ang Manila Sound sa pagkukubli ng karahasan ng batas militar maliban sa saranggola ni Pepe?
Ayoko magdunong-dunungan. I don't have the answer to that. But if we have anyone in the Zoom, in the Zoom call who has the answer to this very serious question. Of course, that had major effects, I think the best answer I can come up with now, I don't have the exact answer to this. I don't want to fake an answer, but art is always a reflection of the time, the sign of the times. So, even, kaya nga dumaan tayo sa first chapter na disco. And I did mention that disco was a way for people in the 70s to escape their problems, whether it was political, economic, or social. Escapism yung disco dahil napakasaya pakinggan ng disco. When you listen to disco, parang wala kang problema. So that was a reaction to the realities of what was happening in the 70s and the 80s. Although there was, salamat sa, I think it was a presidential proclamation na hanggang ngayon, it still holds. The law is there wherein you have to play 3 OPM songs every hour. Nangyari yun, kaya medyo napilitan yung mga radio stations to play OPM. 3 songs. How many songs can you play in an hour? Konti lang naman, pero required sila to play 3. Actually, that's also a requirement now, but I don't know. I think there's a loophole in the law wherein radio people don't follow the law. It's kind of sad, but sana, that is the wish and the dream, because even now with streaming, most Filipinos stream songs that are not Filipino-made or OPM. Karamihan and nalalaman ko to from the data gathered by PhilSCAP. It is the Guild of Filipino Composers. Karamihan ng nakokolekta ng PhilSCAP ay still katalogo pa rin ng mga banyaga, foreign songs. Hopefully, the tide will turn wherein majority of the Filipinos will enjoy and support and love OPM. That is the big dream. But it's getting there because as the years go by, during this streaming era, palaki ng palaki ang share of the pie ng OPM. Pero malayo pa rin kasi karamihan, most people still stream foreign music. But we can wish, right? We can dream like the way what happened to Korea, what happened in Brazil, what happened in Japan. They love their own music. Yun ang una talaga. Yun ang priority. Pwede naman yung mangyari. Pwede naman tayong mangarap.
Thank you po. I think we can still accommodate 2 more questions. So, ito po. Hello po, Sir Moy. Ang tanong ko po, how can we uplift the identity of Filipino music kung ang culture ng West and East ay na-embrace at tinatangkilik ng mga Pilipino?
That's always been a problem ever since, no? That struggle, you're conflicted because you cannot be a living Filipino within a vacuum. Tayong Pinoy, we are a meld and a blend of everything, whether it's West or East. It's not binary. It's not a one-all and be-all. You can love Western music and at the same time support and love Filipino music. You can champion both things. Talo ka kasi kung purist ka na dapat Pinoy music lang. That's not realistic. Because you are a mosaic of everything that you live through day to day. So it's not binary. You can love both and you can support both. Mas maganda syempre kung priority mo ang sarili mong awitin, music that you can call your very own and that you champion it because, it's also an economic thing, mas masarap pa rin talaga if you can champion and love your music first. But that But that doesn't mean you turn your back on foreign music. That's not even realistic.
Thank you so much po. And then last, from Edgar Claveria, in one word, Sir Moy, how would you describe the Manila Sound as an experience?
Hirap naman ang tanong ni Edward. In one word, variety. Parang mga musika nung 70s, variety. Magsabi kang OPM, hindi lang isang type. Lahat ng music genre, napasukan niya ng Manila Sound at OPM. Hanggang ngayon, nangyayari yon. Yun ang magaling sa Pinoy. We adapt the music genre and we make it our own. How? With the sentiments, with, choices of words, the way the feelings and the ideas are expressed, the way the melody is molded, nagiging Pinoy, any music genre. So to answer the question, variety. It just wasn't one type of music. Variety. Yun ang Manila Sound. And up to now, the music still stands the test of time and trends.
Thank you po, Sir Moy. Okay, so we are done with the Q&A. But meron pa tayong third round ng game. So sa mga hindi pa nananalo kanina, now is your chance. The third round. So we are going to proceed. So get a chance to win an Intramuros themed beat card every time you are the first to get the correct answer. So paunahan po. So doon po tayo sa chat, paunahan. So how to join and win. This is only for Zoom participants. And if you are viewing via Facebook, meron po kayong chance sumali. So meron pong link doon sa caption kung paano sumali dito sa Zoom. Kasi Zoom lang po yung pwedeng mag-comment dito sa chat button natin. Now, the first to write the correct answer in the Zoom chat button wins. So how do you claim your prize? So visit Intramuros when GCQ restrictions have already been lifted. For our winners, this is something extra to look forward to when Intramuros is open and it will be open. So go to the Intramuros Visitor Center, look for Jeffrey Yap or me, Rancho Arcilla, and present a valid ID to claim your prize. Okay, so ready na po ba tayo? Okay, so ang first na question natin, the 10th question, ano itong song na ito? Ayun, ang nakakuha po ng tamang sagot ay si Mr. George Co. Jr. Congratulations po, meron po kayong gift card mula sa amin. Congrats. Then next question. Ito madali lang to. Ayun. Ang daming sumagot pero may nauna. Nanalo na naman ulit si Nina Angelica Venus. Okay, nakatalo ka ng gift card sa amin. So, congrats again, Venus, for winning again. Then, question number 12. Ito medyo mahirap to. May nakakuha po si Edgar Claveria. Ang tamang sagot po ay kapalaran. Then, this one. Hindi po swing. Hindi rin po tumayo sumunod. Ayun, may nakakuha. Sino yun? Wait lang, bilis ninyo. Si Nina Rosella. Ang tamang sagot po ay awitin mo at isayaw ko. And then, last question for this episode. What is this? Okay, Rowell. Nanalo ka ulit ng beat card. So, ang tamang sagot ay tuldok. Tuldok by Asin. Congratulations to our winners. And feel free to follow us in our social media. The Intramuros Administration is available in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And for those who came in late or for those who missed this episode, huwag po kayo mag-alala kasi magiging available po itong session na ito sa aming YouTube channel. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And sa mga nakamiss na pumunta sa aming mga museums, meron po kaming sites sa Google Arts and Culture. we have digitized a lot of our museum collections, so feel free to visit our collections from the comfort of your home. So ito yung sinasabi nating travel from home. So you are free to look at our collection from your internet. Now, let me take this opportunity as well to promote our conference this December. So this is our second annual Intramuros Young Scholars Conference. The theme is Intramuros, a Heritage of Resilience. So register now. For more details, go to our FB page. And then, sa December 3, we're going to have a webinar. So this is our 38th episode. So imagine na naka-38 na tayo. So this session, this justice is served by Judge Elisa R. Sarmiento Flores, is part of our 18-day campaign to end violence against women and children. So this is in partnership with Zonta Club of Makati and Environs. So this webinar will be about court victories for women and children. Okay, so before we end this webinar, Sir Moy, would you like to say some final words?
Am I on? Naririnig ako?
Yes po.
Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng sumali sa atin ngayong hapon. It was a trip down memory lane. We do apologize for the technical mishaps. Nag-rehearse kami ni Rancho kanina pa. Maaga kaming nag-rehearse. But you know, technical mishaps like an app, a teleprompter not working, or the YouTube not working, it's part of our new reality. But thank you for being so patient, and thank you also for being patient when my dog was giving me problems here. I hope you enjoyed our trip down memory lane. I hope it gives you a better perspective on the past, the beautiful past of OPM, and I hope it makes you appreciate our legacy and our heritage as a people in terms of the musical arts. Please support OPM, and please support the Intramuros, everything, all the projects of the Intramuros administration. Alam ko mahirap po ang buhay ngayon, mahirap ang Pasko, but just remain in the attitude of gratitude. With God's help, we will survive our very first and hopefully the last pandemic Christmas. Mag-ingat po kayo. Always wear a mask and social distance, everybody. God bless and mabuhay ang OPM.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Till next time.